Welcome back to For Real. We are so pleased to have you here, and thank you for watching our videos. 100% of the money we earn from YouTube goes to charities here in Cambodia, and you're helping us earn this money just by watching. In the description of our videos, you can see how much we've earned from YouTube and to whom we've given the money. You'll also find links to the charities in case you'd like to support them yourself. They're all reputable, long-standing organisations doing great work in the kingdom, as I say every week. We have a supporters page with both Reach and Heartprint. If you donate through those links, you'll help us reach our goals. It's time to get started with this week's news. Today is Wednesday, the 16th of March, 2022. As usual, let's address the usual questions. It is not possible to get a visa on arrival for Cambodia. You need to get a tourist visa online prior to arrival. This can take a while, so make sure you allow for this in your planning. Remember that it's no longer possible to convert a tourist visa to an E-type visa in country. You will need a negative PCR test in order to enter Cambodia. Not a RAT, not an ART, not a statement saying you have had COVID and have recovered. The PCR test will require a wet ink stamp and signature, so do your homework on this well in advance. Remember, the well-prepared bird gets the worm, or in this case, the ice-cold glass of Cambodia's finest. If you intend to leave Cambodia at some point, you'll need to follow the requirements of your transit and destination countries to see if they require a negative test, and if so, which kind they accept. This stuff is really fluid, so check, and check again. Unfortunately, the land borders with Vietnam, Thailand and Laos are still closed. On to the news of the week though. Omicron case numbers have been lower in the past 3 days, but there are fears that this will be short-lived due to Khmer New Year getting closer. Fears are growing that the expected influx of migrant workers returning from Thailand for Khmer New Year could bring an increase in COVID-19 cases, which is a scenario that has the potential to slow down the nation's recovery. The Deputy Governor of Banteay Mean Chey Province said that the increase in migrant workers returning for the New Year celebration is very noticeable. He's also concerned because many recent arrivals are unvaccinated. Banteay Mean Chey is the province containing Poi Phet, and if you've ever travelled between Bangkok and Siem Reap by road, it's likely you pass through. Experts expect case numbers in Cambodia to rise due to the delayed release of PCR test results. A lack of tests and insufficient facilities to process them are the main causes for the delay in releasing the results to people quickly. The number of people having PCR tests at the various hospitals and centres is also very high, resulting in people getting their results after 3 or 4 days, or sometimes even longer. So what does it all mean? Reported case numbers should be thought of as a very rough estimate, and any downward trend in numbers could be explained by the delays in test results, as much as a decrease in persistence of the virus. Would you be better off in Bali? Cambodians, along with nationals from 23 countries, can now get a visa on arrival in Bali. Here are the details. 30 days, $35, extendable once in country. You'll still need a negative test before departure, and you'll have to do a RAT on arrival as well. There are 23 countries included in this scheme: Australia, US, the Netherlands, Britain, Italy, Japan, Germany, Canada, South Korea, France, Qatar, New Zealand, Turkey, and the United Arab Emirates are some of those 23. Not keen on Bali? Malaysia might be an option too. Borders there are opening on the 1st of April, and vaccinated travellers won't need to quarantine. There was supposed to be a travel bubble between Cambodia and Malaysia starting yesterday, but this announcement means that the bubble is no longer necessary. Have you been to Malaysia? Penang is one of our favourite places outside of Cambodia. Cambodians will finally get to celebrate Khmer New Year this year after the last 2 years of cancelled celebrations due to the pandemic. This year's festivities will run from the 14th to the 16th of April, and planning is already well underway in Siem Reap. The Khmer New Year celebrations will be held with the COVID-19 preventative measures in place, with all people, including tourists, adhering to the 3 do's and 3 don'ts. There will also be a strong emphasis on wearing face masks and maintaining social distance. There is a lot of talk about how the celebrations will be subdued and low-key. I have my doubts that keeping a lid on the party is going to be possible, but we will see. All the smokers out there might be interested to know that the Southeast Asia Tobacco Control Alliance has said that raising taxes on tobacco products will reduce their use and help save lives. In Cambodia, this means the move could help over 2 million smokers quit the habit and prevent 15,000 deaths a year. The current tax rate is only 25 to 31% of the retail price, keeping cigarettes very cheap at less than $1 per pack. This will be an interesting one to watch. Let's just hope they don't come for the beer next. Let's move on to our weekly Table of Shame. A Cambodian and an American have been arrested by police from the anti-drug department in a crackdown in Phnom Penh. The force investigated and cracked down on the cases at 2 different locations in the capital. Police also confiscated 42 kilograms of methamphetamine. I know I joke about the Table of Shame, but those men are likely to spend much of the rest of their lives in a Cambodian prison. It's easy to forget what the conditions are like, and as a foreigner in this situation, you likely wouldn't have anyone to bring you food or money, and this would make life extremely difficult. Cambodia has 29 prisons, designed to hold 26,000 prisoners, but around 40,000 people are being held inside those prisons. Drug crime accounts for a massive proportion of this number, and about 43% of the 40,000 that are incarcerated are in pre-trial detention. Anyway, I think this leads us nicely into a short discussion of foreign nationals. A recent report said that the recent rise in crimes committed by Chinese syndicates, from online gambling and job scams to human trafficking and abduction, is threatening the safety of people of all nationalities in the kingdom. Most of these crimes are taking place in, you guessed it, Sihanoukville. From 2016 to 2018, Sihanoukville saw a large influx of Chinese investors and workers in Cambodia thanks to a real estate boom. With them came gangs which operated online gambling outlets, leading to debts, mainly among their own nationals, resulting in a rise of crimes such as abduction and extortion. In January, police rescued over 500 Thai nationals who claimed to have been duped into working in Cambodia through online advertisements promising lucrative jobs. Meanwhile, the Indonesian embassy to Cambodia has rescued 165 Indonesian nationals from Cambodian-based Chinese companies who extorted and confined them. In the last 3 months, provincial police went on raids and busted 4 Chinese gangs involved in abduction. 3 youths were sent to court yesterday for possession of a sword. The young men rode 2 motorcycles and were having a night out, but had foolishly decided to carry the sword with them. The youths claimed to be carrying the sword to protect themselves because there was an opponent who was trying to kill them. During a urine test, the 3 young men were found to be positive for drugs. And finally, the cleanup of the Mekong River will begin soon. Local authorities will use German-made garbage collection boats which are capable of collecting location data on landfills via drones and cameras and have the ability to collect up to 20 tonnes of submerged litter per day. The boats will work on cleaning the Mekong for an initial period of 3 months. This is part of a bigger plan that also includes education and recycling. This brings us to the end of the news. You're now up to date with all of the most important events in the kingdom. Thank you for watching. Links to the stories mentioned will be in the pinned comment, and the description of this video contains links to other channels making content about Cambodia, so be sure to check them out. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.